Guys, Superman is finally in theaters, and I got to go to an early Thursday screening. And I'm really excited today to show you guys my conversation I had with one of my best friends as we talk about DC, the future of DC as a whole, and the pros and cons of this movie. So, as always, welcome to the Movie Couch. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode of this podcast. And today, we are going to be talking about Superman, and I want to welcome my very good friend Zain Siddiqi, who has also seen this movie, and is actually the only one in the friend group who has seen this movie. But Zain, are you ready to talk about Superman, man?
I am very excited to talk about Superman today. I am a DC fanboy, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I feel like I love that you're going to be able to be on this so we're going to be eventually talking about some of the animated movies in regard to Superman. And Zain, I know you know a lot more about it than what I do, so this should be really interesting. So, but I first thought to start it off, let's just talk about what are your thoughts on the DCEU up to this point, right? Because up to this point, really, we've had Zack Snyder at the helm, right? Until James Gunn has now taken control of DC as a whole. So yeah, I guess Zain, let's just start off with what have been your thoughts of the DC up to this point? With all the different movies we've gotten, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, etc.
Well, I think I'm super biased because I really like DC,
Sure.
anything DC. But with I guess you could say like the OG with the Man of Steel and stuff like that. It's been a while since I've watched it or rewatched it. I feel like it didn't really have a general direction on where it was going. So like for Man of Steel, and then they did the Batman versus Superman, and then all those Zack Snyder series trilogies and all that. I felt like it wasn't really they were just trying to make it more action and not any of the stories that they had in the comics and stuff like that. So I feel like the DCEU has been really frowned upon. People don't really like it in comparison to the MCU, how they had a crazy run. That was at the same time they were having their that whole Avengers thing.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, at that point they were competing with Prime Marvel, right? So I feel like they had such a head-to-head
it was
battle.
crazy.
Yeah, the number of big superhero movies that were coming out between I don't know, early 2000, 2010 over there to I don't know, right after right before Endgame and stuff. There was a run in there with both series. I actually did rewatch a lot. I didn't watch all the Superman movies, but I did rewatch most of the Superman movies before coming to this one. I did rewatch Man of Steel. I thought it was really good. I still think it has its flaws, which I agree, but I think it's still a solid movie. I think there's definitely ups and downs, right? You have I think we both agree we both like Man of Steel, but I think there's other movies like Wonder Woman 1984 that was just a slop.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think there's such highs and lows. So I think it's very interesting because the way I look at this movie, right? I want to see if you agree. The way I look at this movie is Superman, especially with the way that they're going to be introducing some new characters. It's like the original Iron Man movie, right? For the start of the MCU, right? It's like we're just getting started. So I feel like this is the starting off point.
What about your thoughts on how they changed the actor? How they have the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Who's he again?
Henry Cavill, right?
Henry Cavill, and then the new guy in this movie.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm definitely part of the group that I'm a Henry Cavill stan. I don't know about you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Christopher Reeves, again, rewatching the old movies, I would say the old Christopher Reeves Superman movies are good, but they're not great. They're just so cheesy. And there's no offense. They're just so old, right? I think Christopher Reeves was great. I think Henry Cavill did such a good job. I mean, I feel like he embodied what Superman should look like and what how he should act. And those movies are so cool to look at. I don't know. It's okay. What are your Henry Cavill thoughts then?
So my thoughts, I feel like a lot of people were on the boat of him,
Hmm.
like Henry Cavill Superman. He was crazy. He was great. Everybody loved him, right? But I don't know. I felt like he was just like a big, like, just just eye candy for people,
Yeah,
because it's Henry Cavill, you know.
sure.
He wasn't really like a crazy Superman in my opinion. Like I feel like the Superman that we got in this movie is really like what he is
Yeah,
in the comics and how he like acts.
yeah,
Like he's a golden poster boy. He's
mhm,
like America's sweetheart. He's all this, right?
yeah,
And like Henry Cavill really showed. I really like Henry Cavill's
sure.
like look in
Oh yeah,
Superman, like in the suit and all that. But I'd really say like the face of this new Superman, he definitely looks like him.
oh yeah.
Like he got the little strand of hair, whatever,
Hmm.
like that, and he got all that. Like I feel like if he had the face and then the body of Cavill, he'd be the perfect Superman.
Yep. No, I 100% agree. Um, I feel like I should say now before to start the rest of it. There will probably there's going to be heavy spoilers in this
Yeah, definitely
podcast.
for sure. We
So
we have to
if
talk
you
about
have
some stuff.
if you have not seen, and I agree, like exactly what Zane said, we have like in order to give our full thoughts, we are just going to have to talk about spoilers. So if you haven't seen Superman in theaters, please go see it and then come back and watch this. Because we don't want to be the person to spoil all this stuff for you.
Yeah,
But to go off of what you said, I 100% agree. I think casting is something that we can talk about here in a little bit once we get into it. Because I want to talk about Lois Lane. I want to talk about Jimmy Olsen. I want to talk about those castings too. But yeah, no, exactly. So, um, I guess we can move on to the next point for now. For like the pre-movie topics. What was your like your theater experience? Okay, so like getting to your theater, like well, I guess what type of theater did you see it in and things like that?
so I went to an AMC theater, and it was just I think it was just a laser. I think they had the
Mm-hmm.
laser
Yeah.
screening or whatever it was. Um, yeah, when I went in, I think we went a little bit early.
Mm-hmm.
We watched all those previews and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was definitely really hyped waiting for the movie to come
Mm-hmm.
up. And I don't know, the theater experience, I felt like it's been a while since I've been to the movie, and that was like my first time in a while
Yeah.
going for Superman. Um, yeah, and then just getting into the beginning of it was a crazy start for the movie.
Yeah. No.
They just like I like how okay, so I think James Gunn and
Mm-hmm.
somebody else when they were like interviewing him talked about this. They were like, we don't want to do origin stories
Mm-hmm.
for like these DC heroes because they were
Yep.
talking like everybody's seen the Batman's parents died
Yep. Yep.
before everybody's seen that. Everybody's seen Superman come in from
Mm-hmm.
Krypton and land. And they find him and stuff like that. Everything like that. And he just sets the mood right away in the beginning
Sure.
of the movie where he's just like 3 years ago or 3 months
Yep.
ago I think it was
Yep.
Superman landed, and then they're like, oh, 3 minutes ago he started in a fight, stopped a war in
Yeah.
Baravia or whatever it was called.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, just like I don't know, how was your theater experience?
I'll say this for both of us. I went on Thursday night opening night. Zane here, you went on Friday night. So we
I did,
both went
yeah.
to pretty much what I would consider like the earliest possible like showings and stuff for it. We're recording this on the Saturday of the weekend, so a lot of the like I guess you know I guess reactions and stuff are just starting to come out now. But I agree with you. Like I went to a IMAX screening at my local AMC. I had to drive like 45 minutes for it just to get an IMAX, but I felt like I had to do it for this movie.
Yeah, okay.
I would say it being a Thursday night, there were like one or two people like dressed up, kind of like in Superman stuff, but there were a
Superman
lot of
merch.
people there who weren't wearing DC shirts, which was kind of surprising to me, especially it being Superman. But again, it being a Thursday night, it's technically a work night.
Premiere day. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know what type of audience you're gonna get from that, but no, I think I had a great theater experience overall. Like there were tons of laughs at the different jokes.
Yeah.
People at the end like got up and like started clapping, standing up and stuff. So I loved it. It was hyped.
I heard some stuff where they were like saying, "Oh," for
Yep.
the dog moments and
Hmm.
stuff, with crypto. There was also like, have you seen those like clips online? There was like for the premiere, I think who's the Homelander was at the premiere for one of
Oh yeah,
them,
yeah,
Anthony Starr,
yep,
and some guy dressed up as Homelander for the
yeah.
premiere. And the guy was like, everybody should be like him. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did not. No, I did not
Uh,
see that clip, but yeah, I think we both had pretty good theater experiences overall, which I think uh is yeah. I think it's always good because there's been lots of theaters movies I've been to this year that people did not act appropriately. Thankfully, like for example, I went to a Minecraft showing that they did act proper, but I
oh,
can't imagine if I went to, you know,
chicken jockey.
Chicken
He's just going
Jockey.
crazy.
Exactly. Okay, let's see. The next topic I have is rumors coming out before the movie. So I felt like I know Zain, you told me about one like a rumor or things you heard online about people talking about this movie before it came out. So did it, I guess any of the rumors that you heard, did it affect your thoughts going into this movie?
So one of the rumors that we did see was, like I think it was the early composing or the
Mm-hmm.
BGM for the Superman movie. It was just a little bit of the background song, and they heard like a little bit of the Batman theme
Yep.
in it. So people were speculating already, like, oh, this is for him, 100%. This
Yeah.
is for him, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, they gotta do it, right? There's no way. Like, come on, just connect them. Like, it's like it's good enough. Like you've reset so many
Yep.
times. You have this like well-known director, James Gunn, now working on these movies. Like, you might as well just do it. Like, the Batman is like, it's not that bad.
Yep.
Like, why not, right?
Exactly.
But like me going in, I was like, oh, maybe they'll do something like
Mm-hmm.
just like something oriented, like they'll have something at the end to connect it all or something.
Yeah, no, I saw on TikTok as well the same thing that you saw with the theme song of the Batman, like that people heard in the Superman soundtrack. And
Yeah.
I pretty much stayed completely spoiler free, and I also went into this movie thinking like, are they gonna do something with the Batman? Is like Robert Pattinson gonna show up, or are they gonna like some people even in the comment section were like, Christian Bale's gonna show up for like a cameo scene, and I was like, okay, that'd be kind of crazy.
Oh,
But
you know what? I thought one of the scenes, for like I was like, the Superman fight, right? I was like, they were fighting. He was fighting Ultraman,
yes,
and they were about to do the reveal for his
yeah.
face. I was like, it's Henry Cavill, 100%. I was
Oh,
like, yo,
you're
it's
right.
gonna be him.
You're right. You're right.
It's gonna be
Actually,
the old Superman.
I didn't even think about that. That would have been kind of dope. Like,
That would have been like really
mm-hmm,
cool. I was like, oh,
okay. But yeah, another one that I told Zane about before we started recording, a rumor that I had heard online was okay. So crypto is obviously a huge part of this movie.
oh yeah,
And there were tweets and stuff that went online that was talking about how, okay, mind you, again, crypto is a superpowered dog that can shoot lasers out of it. Has like, it's basically
yeah,
Superman, but in like a tiny dog, right? There was a scene
yeah.
where one of the villains supposedly was going to punch crypto, and I guess either animal activists or like somebody went online and basically just like started, I guess in like some sort of like audience screening, told James Gunn that they didn't like that, and Gunn pulled that scene from the movie, which I think is absolutely hilarious, right? Because if it's like a regular dog, that the villain was punching, or
Yeah.
like maybe even if it's crypto, but the person just like going like hammering at it, that'd be one thing. But if it's just like a single punch to crypto, like, are you telling me
Yeah.
you can't punch the dog?
It's a Kryptonian dog, okay? It has the same powers as Superman. Like, it's not gonna hurt the dog. Like,
No,
let's
the
be
dog's gonna
honest.
get up and be fine. So
Yeah, like I'm surprised people didn't have a problem with the scene. You remember the scene where the big alien
mhm,
thing was in the city
yeah.
and they had that dog and Superman saved him, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then he blew the dog away and then
Yep,
hit the tree and he made a
yep.
weird noise.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I bet you people would have been like, oh no, why'd you hurt the dog?
He probably hurt that dog more of just blowing into the tree than what crypto would have taken from that punch. I'm just gonna say.
I know, like, wow. I feel like he did get punched though, right? Like, wasn't there a scene when they were in the Fortress of
No,
Solitude that?
the engineer, whatever her name is, right, with like
Oh
the
yeah,
nanobots. She like surrounded his head with the nanobots, right? Because then he
I
was like,
thought man like punched him one time though.
maybe
Like,
she
and
did.
then he,
Yeah. I don't remember, but I don't know. Either way, it's like, damn, like you gotta be, you punch a dog like that. Okay. All right. Well, I guess let's just get into the meat of the movie. So the next thing I had up here was, let's just talk about the pros of the movie, which it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of good things. This movie does a lot of good things.
No, for sure.
But yeah, what worked for you? I guess with this movie.
Okay, so like I said before, like the Superman, right?
Mhm.
Like it's called Superman,
Yep.
and we're talking about this new actor. What was his name again?
David Cornsweet.
David Cornsweet. Yeah, I don't know what else is he known for. Do you know?
Actually, this is a fantastic question. Let me look. I do know he was in,
I think my
let's see
friend
here.
was telling me he was in one of those horror movies.
He was okay. So he was
In that trilogy.
the X trilogy. He was in the second one as in the
Oh
Pearl
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Something I did not. I'm just looking up now. Did you ever watch the new Twisters movie that came out last year?
No, I saw a lot of trailers and stuff about it though.
Okay.
I didn't even know that he was in
Apparently
it.
he's in it. I think he's his character's name is Jeb. No, wait, no, sorry.
Scott.
Scott. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it's like a small role because I don't remember this guy being in it.
No.
And he's in like one or two other movies that I've seen, but I'll be honest with you, they weren't roles that I remembered him from. So I feel like this.
So
just
genuinely a newbie.
Yeah, exactly.
New guy. His breakout film,
Exactly.
basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just going off that. Okay. So what are your thoughts on Cornsweet as a whole? Like, you
Yeah.
think he did a good job?
Yeah, I really think he's good. He's like a nice like I said earlier, he's a really good poster boy
Yep.
and like American sweetheart, and that's
Yep.
exactly what Superman is. He's America's superhero representative,
Yep.
basically, right? He really shows that throughout the film. I feel like really well. He tries to do that. You know, like some of the jokes in the movies,
Yeah.
like a little bit corny here
Sure.
and there, but I think it really suits the character. Like it fits some of the things that he says, right? And I feel like generally, like you would hear some of these things like comics, or you'd hear it in like the animated series and stuff like that. And I feel like I really liked him as Superman. But I was saying like as before, like if he had like Henry Cavill's like body and like his face and just like his personality, he'd be the perfect Superman casting. But other pros for that, I really liked some of the fight scenes. I feel like it took a while for it to pick up. Like I really liked how during one of the scenes he really started to act like Superman. Like he started using his powers. They try to show him a lot in the show. Like I think in the movie, like I think in The Man of Steel, you recently watched it, right?
Yes.
Was he really like OP right away? Like he was crazy?
No. So I feel like Man of Steel is really weird. And I'll let you finish your thought here in a second too, because I want to add on something you said where you mentioned if he had Henry Cavill's body. I actually prefer Cornsweet's body in this movie. I think Cavill is too built. I think if you saw Henry Cavill walking down the street, you'd like automatically just assume like he's a bodybuilder or something. Like you could not take him for a regular reporter. Cornsweet, I think, is built enough that he's clearly like built, but he's like he could like put on a suit and just like disguise himself, right? But no, to answer your question, in Man of Steel, you know, Superman in that movie, I don't think he's like super OP off the bat. He is. Okay. It is a little. He's already been Superman for a little bit of time, I guess. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, no. At the beginning of the movie, he's not even Superman, so it does take.
Yeah, because that's more of an origin story for that.
That one's more an origin story. So I feel like where we pick up with Cornsweet in this one, where he's already been a Superman for what, 3 years, right? Is that?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, for 3 years. Check. Like he already knows, I think, a lot of his abilities. So it's a different take, you know.
Yeah, I feel like they showed more of Superman's weaknesses in this movie, which was like a really good pro. Like people always think Superman is OP, like nobody can do anything against him and all this stuff. They really showed how he can be human, right? Like you can show what he can and can't do, right? Like some of the things he was trying to do, like for the example, like the alien scene, he was trying to save the alien to like maybe do research and stuff like that. But they, you know, the Justice Gang, they just killed him straight up, and he was upset. You know,
Yeah.
like so that's really something that Superman would be like upset about. He'd be
Sure.
like, wow. He'd really want to do something like he wanted to do it the right way. He wanted to take that alien somewhere far away
Yeah.
to a prison or something, right?
Drop them
Which
off on
is
the
really
planet.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like really like they really thought about these things, right? Um, some other pros I can think of off the top of my head right now. I really liked, yeah. So like most of the fight scenes were really good. I really
Yeah.
liked how they tried to implement like more of Clark Kent
Mm-hmm.
and Lois Lane, and then
Mm-hmm.
more of the Daily Planet and all that. Which I feel like we've really not seen before, right? Too much.
Yep.
Like I don't think Man of Steel had that much kind of scenes like that.
No.
Yeah. So I feel like that was a good like plot point. They showed a little bit of how like his side life is,
Sure.
and then like that whole interview scene
Oh yeah. Lois Lane.
with yeah Lois Lane and Superman. I thought it was a really cool dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, but it was it got a little too much. Like
Yeah.
it was like okay, let's go on, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so like yeah, some of the fight scenes as well, like Mr. Terrific, that whole James Gunn
Mm-hmm.
always does this for all his movies. He
Yep.
has to have a scene where he's just blasting
Yep.
his music in the background while somebody's fighting,
Yep.
kicking some ass, right?
What do we
Yeah,
have
definitely that was definitely cool.
like Guardians 2? That's the one I think of, right? That intro scene where they're all fighting
Yeah.
the alien and then baby Groot's just sitting there dancing. It's that exact same vibe. It's like James Gunn like
I always
signature.
think of like whenever I think of a James Gunn scene, I always think of like the first introduction of Star Lord with
Oh, yeah.
the little song. Hey, hey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's always that. Like that's you always get that in a James Gunn movie,
Yep.
which is nice to see. And then so like, what are your thoughts on like pros and
I
stuff with this movie?
I agree with a lot of what you said. I really think that interview scene with him and Lois Lane I think sets up the movie as a whole, and I think really does a good job of setting up Superman. Because I will say this in Man of Steel, we barely get to see uh Henry Cavill as like Clark Kent, because the first
Yeah.
part of the movie is like it's him wandering around the earth, like he keeps changing his identity because he goes, he's like that fisherman, then he goes to that like abandoned like town out in the middle of nowhere. He's like doing all these different jobs, and then he finds like the Kryptonian ship, and then he becomes Superman the whole process. But even then we don't ever get to see journalist Clark Kent into the very end of the movie. It's like the end credit scene basically. And I think being able to see Corn Sweat really explain his thoughts on why he did the attack, that's not shown in the movie, right? But why he stopped the war from happening, because he's arguing that like anytime someone is hurt, he's going to stop that from happening, right? I feel like that sets up exactly what you said at the beginning, where you're saying like he's like the symbol of like not just America, but I feel like the world and like what good is embodied. Um, and
Yeah.
I thought he did a great job. I want to take a moment here as well. You mentioned Lois Lane. I think um, Rachel Brosnahan as the new Lois Lane does a fantastic job. I think Amy Adams did a just fine, okay job in Man of Steel. I think Brosnahan and Cornsweet have a really good chemistry that I'm excited to see. Obviously, there's like the kissing scenes and stuff like that. That's fine, but you see the dynamics between them when they're both Superman and Lois Lane, but also Clark Kent and Lois Lane. I think they both work.
I really like in that scene particularly. I remember when I was watching it, when I was in the theater, she came into our apartment and you could hear the noise like on your left hand side, like in the background. I was like, what is that? I was like, what? And it was like, who could this be? Like it has to be. I was like, it could be Superman. Like at first I didn't know that they were actually like a couple. Like I thought they still didn't know each other because of the scene before when they were arguing. But then we see it happen, and then they just start smooching like crazy. I'm like, oh, okay, this is crazy, just right away. And they're just talking in the middle of their smooch that shit. I'm like, wow, they're really doing this.
Yeah. Okay. And one more positive thing I want to talk about, dude. Mr. Terrific is freaking dope in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
he's just standing there, just throwing these orbs out, and like, I don't know. I don't think he kills. Does he? I don't think he kills anybody. I think he's just knocking them out.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't. He's shocking all of them
Yeah.
during it. Like one of the scenes where he's shocking people, like that whole scene with the bubble while
Yeah.
he's at the teleporter
Yeah.
thing. Um, that was a whole cool moment for Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific. Like people really don't know that character either. Like he's like an underrated like
Yeah.
character in DC. You know, like people don't understand what he does, like who he is.
Yeah.
Cause like like you see it in the animated series and all this, but like they're like, oh, it's another
Yeah.
DC hero, right? But
Yeah.
like people never seen it in live action, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool that he had such a good role in it, which is great.
I think it's really interesting because now that I'm thinking about it, like James Gunn really like spotlighting some of these like small like heroes or even villains, like uh the Suicide Squad, right? We had Polka Dot Man, who I had never heard of until that movie, right? But again, Gunn like takes a tiny character like that, who I assume is is very important in his own role. I haven't read the comics and stuff, but like takes Polka Dot Man, someone who most people wouldn't know, and puts him into again a big budget movie as a major supporting character. So
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because it's easy to just get drowned in the Superman and the Batmans and the Wonder Womans. Even this movie has a Green Lantern in it, right? So yeah, I think it's easy to get caught up in those characters. But then Mr. Terrific, that fight scene, I think if when people start talking about this movie in the future, and if they were to say like, oh, what's like the couple of things that you really remember from this movie, one will probably be like the kaiju, right? Then there'll probably be Lex Luthor and stuff. But I think like of five, if let's say someone was to list five things they remember from this movie, one of them is going to be the Mr. Terrific fight scene. And I think that's really
100%.
nice that it's for such a small character like that, like you
I
mentioned.
think one of my friends seen
Yeah.
while I was watching with he loved that scene. That was his favorite scene. That
Yeah.
whole fight.
Exactly. So
I really do like that they had more of DC characters. I thought there was
Yes.
just gonna be Superman, but because I went into this fully blind. I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't watch any spoilers or anything about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what happens when I watch it, right?
Sure.
And I was like, oh, so we got a whole Justice Gang is
Yeah.
what they're calling it, right? But it's like, come on, man, just do it. Justice League, okay? It's Justice League, okay? We saw in the scenes Hall of Justice. This is the coolest place ever, right? In DC. Okay? The Hall of Justice, they got the Justice Gang in there, okay? We got Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, we got Mr. Terrific, right? A little small group. I really liked Guy Gardner. I forget who was the actor for that.
Nathan Fillion, I think it is. Yes,
I don't
Nathan
think I've
Fillion.
heard of him.
He's
Yeah, him. I remember.
Obviously,
Yeah.
like a lot of people, ironically, will probably know him from
Uncharted.
Yep, Uncharted. Obviously, Uncharted as well. But it's interesting because he's in a lot of Gunn's movies, right? As just like a side character. Like in the Suicide Squad, he was just one of those like random villains that gets blown up at the beginning of the movie, right? And he does like a lot of. He was Hal Jordan actually in the Flashpoint Paradox animated movie as well. So he has a lot of history around just DC in general. And I thought he did a great job playing. I think you agree with me, like just a jerk, right? He's just like he's just a jerk, right? Like he is a hero at the end of the day, but like even when he's like flipping those tanks in the one scene, he's doing it with a middle finger that's coming out from the ground, right? So I guess what were your thoughts?
That's really who Guy Gardner is, like in the comics. Like he's not really like people's favorite Lantern. Generally, like people don't really like him, but you see him mostly, like he really does rep him well in the movie. His look overall, I forget, did he have like really ginger hair? I think he had more blonde hair.
He had more blonde hair, because there was that joke about his haircut, right? That should be in jail or something like that.
That was funny. But yeah, so he represented him really well. I feel like people don't really talk about Guy Gardner as well in DC. He's here in some episodes for the animated series in Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. He's in some, I think, movies as well, animated movies, but he's not really in live action, I'm pretty sure. This is probably his first look at Guy Gardner. But yeah, I think he fit it really well.
Who would be?
And they just didn't go with the. it'd be Jon Stewart.
Jon
That's
Stewart,
who
okay.
is in Justice League,
Yeah.
the original. They usually do Hal Jordan for like, everybody thinks he's the main like
Sure.
Lantern, but
Sure.
like Jon Stewart is the definite, like he's in the Justice League
Okay.
with Batman and Superman. That's how it is. It's like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, then it's Green Lantern,
Mm-hmm.
then it's Aquaman and all of them, right?
Yeah.
And then when you think of the Green Lantern, it's Jon Stewart.
Okay. Which
Um,
I know that they're going to be making a show. I think it's called Lanterns. That's going to be coming out. I don't know when it's going to be coming
yeah,
out.
I heard about that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's going to be really, really interesting. I'm looking here. It says it's going to be. It looks like they've already cast Jordan and Stewart. So probably be coming out 2026 is what it says here currently. So that's going to be really interesting as well. I think if we have a trio of Garner, Jordan, and Stewart, that could be really interesting. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else, other positives you want to talk about? There's so many. We could theoretically talk about this
talk
forever.
about yeah, we could talk about Hawk Girl too. She had a role, I think. She was like kind of a general side character, really. Like she had some lines in the movie. Half of it was just her screaming as Hawk Girl.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. Okay. Is that something in the comics that she does?
Because not really. Like you wouldn't see that as a line in a comic book, right? Like you'll probably hear a screech or something like that, but like you don't even see that in the show.
Yeah.
Or like stuff like that. She would just be screaming like 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 grunting or something like that. Not like screaming like a hawk. I don't think I've ever seen that for a Hawk Girl.
And it'll be.
Is she? Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it's because it's like they zoomed in on her face every time she did the scream, which I thought was like hilarious. Because like she's chasing the dictator guy through the halls, and she's like punching the guys, and she's screaming every time she like lands a hit. So,
which Hawk Girl is this? Like, cause I know there's. Is this like what was her name in this? Did they ever say her regular name, or did they even say Hawk Girl?
Let's see here. So she. I'm gonna find it here. The Kendra Saunders incarnation of Hawk Girl. So
Kendra Sandra. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I forget who she was in that animated.
I know. I don't know if you know this. I did see that in the Peacekeeper show. I think is what it's called, right? Or is it Peacemaker?
Yeah. Peacemaker, I think.
Peacemaker show with John Cena. That her, Guy Gardner, and Mr. Terrific are supposed to be in it because they already released like a teaser trailer for the new season, and all three of them are in it. Now, again, I don't know, to what degree they'll be in it, but there'll be some sort of connection there. So I'm hoping that we get her character fleshed out a little bit more. I feel like Mr. Terrific kind of did get some introduction, but I would really like her to get kind of a fleshed out thing because it'll be interesting to see if they end up doing Hawkman, right? If they do maybe a Hawkman and a Hawk Girl TV show or something like that, that'd be interesting. There's so many different directions that the DC can take with this character, right? So
yeah, there's a lot of stuff they can draw from like the show because they had a whole Hawk Girl like arc from the show.
Yeah.
With Hawkman that went on for so long. It was crazy storyline. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it?
I have not seen that. No. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it went on like they were like two lovers that were like in the past were lovers as well, and then something else happened, and it's crazy. Like it's a crazy storyline that they show off in the show. I don't know if they'll go in that direction for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what was her name? Was it Sierra Hole for Hawk Girl? Her name, but I don't know
Kendra
which
Saunders.
one this one is.
I don't know. Oh, sorry, that's the one in this movie. So I don't know which show are you talking about?
Sierra Hall is the original Hawk Girl, and one of the founding members of Justice League from like the animated show and just in general. I don't remember Kendra Saunders. That name doesn't seem familiar for me. I'm not too much into Hawk Girl, so I wouldn't know that much about that. But yeah, I think she was a good like entry character to that character. I feel like they didn't really show her that much, right? Like they didn't really show her personality. They didn't show like how her powers worked or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like they had a scene where she didn't have wings, right, in the Hall of
Yep.
Justice,
Yep.
and then randomly she just grew wings.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I was so confused. I was like, how did that happen?
Well, that okay. So this actually goes into one of my negatives, but I want to make sure. Are we done? Again, we could talk forever about like I think the good things that
Yeah,
this movie
there's
does.
so much stuff to talk about for the pros, because like how you said with the Peacemaker, we saw John Cena in one of the scenes,
Yes.
which was mad funny.
Which by the way,
Like,
like everyone in my theater was laughing so much when he
yeah,
appeared.
everybody was laughing too. Yeah,
So, okay, so I guess we'll get into some of the maybe cons. I don't think, again, in all transparency, I don't think this movie does anything like horribly. I just think maybe I think the correction would be maybe they could have taken things a different direction. So, for example,
yeah, for sure.
I want to agree with you on Hot Girl, and it's a bigger negative that I have is that I feel like this movie, maybe adds one or two too many characters. Um, it being I think Mr. Terrific fits perfectly because he gets the screen time. But I want a little bit more out of Gardner and I want a little bit more out of Hawk Girl. And I think you let's keep Gardner in the equation for this movie. I think Hawk Girl would have been great to maybe have her show up, but I think like you agree, there's so many questions we have about her, like with the wings and stuff. And I think what she has like maybe 10 lines in the movie, and they're all very like I'm just agreeing with
Quick,
someone who's talking, right? Like
yeah, something quick or something witty.
exactly. We don't get much out of her, so I feel like I understand it's like a teaser for upcoming projects, and I get that. But at the same time, I'm also as a Isabella Merced fan, but also just as a DC fan, right? I want each character to be able to take the time to be fleshed out. So that's like the one small thing is that, you know, I think maybe we could have slowed down on some of the character introductions. I think
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna bring up like
Go ahead.
for this is kind of a pro and then
Yeah.
kind of a con.
Yeah.
Like I know how you said there's a lot of characters. Metamorpho.
Oh, exactly.
I
Yeah.
I did not even think they were gonna bring Metamorpho into this. I was like, what the hell? Metamorpho's in this
Mm-hmm.
movie? So like Metamorpho is a very unknown character in
Mm-hmm.
DC. Like people don't really know him, and for him to be in this is kind of crazy. I know like I think like one of my favorite like series or like episodes from the animated shows was the Metamorpho arc. Like they showed his whole origin story, like how he happened, like all that, and then him fighting the whole Justice League was crazy. Like it was like a whole thing for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just in this movie. Like they just drop him. Like, oh, boom, Superman, and then boom, Metamorpho's right there,
Yeah.
right? Um
So it looks
I
like he
like
was in the
his
Justice League show, and that's the one that you watched growing up, right? And
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I watched it recently. I think a lot, like a year or two ago. I watched both. So there was Justice League, and then there's Justice League
mm-hmm.
Unlimited, which I think Unlimited was maybe newer, and they tried to do like more stories from Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think Metamorpho was in like um, I think Justice League. I
Yeah.
forget which one he was in.
He was in. I'm looking up the Wikipedia. So he was in a Justice League episode called Metamorphosis, where it's
Yeah.
he's a friend of John Stewart actually in that episode, and then he makes an unspeaking cameo in Unlimited as well. But like
Yeah.
this is like the first time that he's had like a major appearance in anything,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
again,
Like people don't really know. Like he's just in one
yeah.
episode, which is crazy. And I was like, wow, I like this guy.
So I guess a
I
question
think
for
he
you: is he part of the Justice League? Because he shows up at the end. Again, spoiler. He shows up at the end to fight. I guess alongside Gardner and Hawkgirl
Hawkgirl.
and Mr.
Yeah.
Terrific. Is he part of the Justice League, or does he just show up because he's trying to like, help Superman
So
out?
so the thing with Justice League is that every DC hero could be
Mhm.
part of the Justice League, right?
True.
That's why like you had the Justice League. They had the first animated show, which was Justice League,
Mhm.
right? And that was just with the big three.
Yep.
It was Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Mhm.
Then they had added. Also showed off like more of the other
Right.
characters, right? Like Flash, John Stewart, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
Those are like the top.
Yep.
Like there would be like 7 people. You'd be Aquaman too.
Is
I don't think
Cyclops in there?
Aquaman was that much. Cyclops. I don't think so. Let me see.
I remember
Justice League.
who would have been. Let's see. So the voice cast. the main voice cast that on Wikipedia says here was Kevin Conroy as Batman. Then you get Hawkgirl, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Superman, and Flash. So those are like the main. Is
Yeah.
what it lists as the main cast, right?
Yeah. That's like the main like people that they showed off as
Sure.
like the founding members. They didn't really have like Aquaman. Aquaman was like a character. He was like just the ruler of Atlantis
Sure.
in that. They had like a whole like dedicated scene for that too, or like episodes. So like the Justice League animated series, right? It was just like those like how many are those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seven members, right?
Yep.
And then they showed off like the other heroes that could be added. Then in Justice League Unlimited, like every DC hero they added. Like they added everybody to the Justice League, right?
Yep.
So it was like Metamorpho's in it, everybody's in it, right? So anybody could be a Justice League member, right? So he was right with like in this movie they put another side character in that had like somewhat of a major role, right? I'm not too sure about that baby scene. Like I don't know where that's from.
Yeah. So that okay.
I'm not too sure.
I was like that baby seemed weird because there's a scene of Metamorpho with what I assume is his wife sitting on the couch and they're holding the baby, and his wife is like a blonde, white person. But I'm like, okay, then where's this baby coming from? So is that something that you're familiar with from like the show? Again, I haven't taken time to like kind of look it up or anything.
Yeah, the show did not have that dynamic. They didn't really have his kid in any of that. I think that would probably be something more in the comics where he had a kid. But I'm not too sure what Baby Joey was his name. I'm not too sure where he's from.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look it up. Let me see if there's anything more. They just said like, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say I think the one thing that to kind of circle like a lot of the cons is not to summarize necessarily, but like I feel like again the way I look at this movie, right? It's like the first Iron Man movie, or even like if you want to say like the first Avengers movie, right? I think we can both agree because we're also both Marvel fans as well. Like the first Avengers movie is great, but it's not without its flaws, right? There's a lot of things in that movie that don't work out well, like even now on rewatches. And I think this is the same thing with this movie. Is it's taking what I'm trying to say is this: Superman as a movie takes swings, and I appreciate that it takes those swings even if it misses, right? Because at least you're taking the chance that some of the stuff will work, and I think a lot of it does. Does that make sense? I feel like like Mr. Terrific is a swing, adding Metamorpho is a swing, and I think those work. Where maybe Hawkgirl and stuff isn't a complete hit, I still respect you for trying, right? Because now then I expect with other projects coming out, I assume that Gunn's gonna look at this movie and be like, okay, these things worked here, these things people didn't react to as well. Let's try to like switch some of those stuff out, which hopefully again means that you're building a good foundation for what the rest of the DCEU is going to be like. So
yeah, I also wanted to bring back up the son again, the Joey. They what I'm reading or seeing as well just brought up how like in the show they had the whole dynamic with Simon Stagg, which is one DC kind of like villain. He's like another billionaire person in the in the comics and the shows. But they also his daughter Sapphire Stagg. I don't know if that was actually her in the movie Sapphire. Because I don't know if she would be living in that kind of situation. But I don't know if the girlfriend in that in the movie was Sapphire or if it was Blondie. And that's how Joey is. Yeah. But that's how Joey is in the comics because the mother's Metamorpho.
Okay.
Or sorry, the father's Metamorpho and the mother's Sapphire.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, yeah, I'm looking this up now as well. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many characters that they're adding. Because I'm trying to think what else. Like, there's so many people that get teased. Like, even with the Justice League building, right? Like, they're teasing it, and yet we're still getting Justice Gang, right? So again, I feel like they're really great building blocks. I'm trying to think what else.
They had who's the guy for the military dude Flag?
Yeah.
Was it Colonel Flag or
Colonel
Captain
Flag?
Flag?
Yeah, Colonel Flag or General Flag or something like that. Yes.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
he? I'm pretty sure he is Suicide Squad.
Yes. So he was.
Was he in
Well,
Suicide Squad?
his son was in Suicide Squad, right? Because his son is the one, like the villain that I think Cena kills. Um. Yeah. Because let me see. Um. Let me see.
Rick Flag.
Yes, I'm pretty
No,
sure that's
Rick
his
Flag
son.
was in. No, Rick Flag was in the Suicide Squad. This is probably. I think this is just a different Rick Flag.
Um. Okay, no. Joel Kinnaman plays Colonel Rick Flag Jr., which is his son. And then I know the guy you're talking
Oh,
about is because I
senior.
somehow it's all connected because I know that the Rick Flag that you're talking about in Superman was also in Peacemaker. Because
Okay.
I guess he recruits Peacemaker, I guess, at some point or whatever. So,
Hmm.
but yeah. So
So is that what? So okay. Oh, so is this confirmed that it's connected to like the Gunn-verse?
I
Like it's
guess, yeah.
all like it's with Suicide Squad because I guess Peacemaker's there and all
Yeah.
of them. So I was thinking
Huh.
Flag is like I thought Flag was only one person, but there's a senior and a junior.
Yep.
So the junior is the one on Suicide Squad,
Yep.
and then this one I know Flag from the shows as well. Flag. I forget. I think he was with Amanda Waller,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember senior. I might be thinking of that Flag from Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
So
I think Senior is the one that you're talking about in Superman movie, who's played
yeah,
by
yeah.
what's his name? I forget what his name is. Yeah, he's the dude who's Crossbones from the MCU. That actor.
Yeah,
So
what's his name?
I'm trying to look it up now. There's so many people in this movie.
There's so many people in this movie. Apparently, wasn't the first Superman in here or his son,
His son. Yeah. So
the reporter?
it's when Kent goes to the Daily Planet at the first scene, right when they're arguing and they like look up at the TV and like the reporters they're talking, you know.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that reporter there is Christopher Reeve's son, who I think is Will
Mm,
Reeves. So yeah. So
that's cool.
all right. Well, I guess we can move on to our next topic we had, which was we've already talked about a little bit, but just thoughts on the future of the Gunverse, right? I feel like this is such a stepping stone for like other projects that's going to come. I'm trying to look
Yeah, for sure.
now what like is the next movie we're getting because I know we're getting um obviously the
Oh,
oh
okay.
yeah, go
Maybe
ahead.
another con that we could add
Sure,
is
sure.
that I felt like they really didn't do anything for the ending. Like they had two
Yes.
scenes, right? Everybody said two post-credit scenes,
Yep.
and there was nothing to go on about, nothing to talk about. It
Mm-hmm.
just made it really. I felt like it really made it lackluster to a perfect movie.
Yeah. So I guess the spoiler for anyone who doesn't have it, I'm just gonna say what the scenes are. So the first one was like cute, right? It's just Superman and Crypto sitting on the moon. They're just like cuddling
That was
together.
that was the first scene. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think here. And then the second scene was after they put the city back together. It's Superman and Mr. Terrific looking at the buildings because, like, okay, so the entire city's been split apart, and then it gets put back together. But like the buildings are just like slightly off, and then Superman's just kind of like
Yeah.
sitting there. It's a fun scene, but it's also like we could have gotten like imagine a black screen with a Batman theme song, bro. Just
That would have been
like,
sick,
dude,
dude.
that would have been
It would have been
so
like,
cool.
like you said, like that scene with Superman. Like that's something definitely he would say in the comics
Yep.
or the show. Like that's something he would be like, "Oh wow, I'm such a jerk." Like that was really cool. That was funny, but like, come on, like
Yep.
let's do something. Like let's connect it.
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh please, just connect it to the Batman,
Yep.
please," right? Or they were gonna be like Justice League's opening,
Sure.
right? We're gonna
Sure.
start a Justice League. We need more people. We need friends. The Justice Friends, right? The
Yep.
friends.
Yep.
But they didn't really do anything, which I thought was really sad. I don't know.
Okay, I guess
It
this is
really
a perfect. Oh, if you can finish your thought. finish that film.
I grew connections with these characters. I really liked everybody in the
Sure.
movie. I was like, okay, well, let's do something else, right? Well,
Mhm.
they're gonna make a sequel. They're gonna do something else, right? They'll show us, and it just left it to interpretation, right?
Yep.
Whatever. It'll be like, oh, this is what we could have had, whatever,
Yep.
right? And I'm like, it's all gone, right?
Yeah.
Really sad.
Yeah. Which I think is a perfect thing because so we can talk about Supergirl showing up right at the end, right? She basically comes and collects crypto, right? So looking at the future movies and then shows that are be coming out, it doesn't look like we have other than Peacemaker season two. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Peacemaker season two, which according to Wikipedia, only season two is canon. So that'll be interesting. But we're not getting anything else from the DCU until next year. It says here that the next movie will be the Supergirl movie, which will be on June 26th of 26. And then
I heard some rumors
Clayface.
that was gonna be canceled.
I heard today that it got renamed, but it didn't get canceled. Like they changed the title.
Oh,
Um, so Supergirl's coming out, like I said, June 26th of 2026.
mhm.
Clayface, which that seems like a really like I will love a Clayface. I don't know how it's going to tie into anything, right? Because that just feels like
Yeah,
a shot in the dark. It's by the
yeah.
way,
It
not to
really
make a
feels
joke,
like
not to make a joke, but it comes
yeah.
out on September 11th of 2026.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's a very interesting date. I don't know why you would choose that. I guess. Um.
It's also like really random of a character. It's like
Mhm.
Mephisto,
Yeah. Exactly.
or no, it's Morbius. Like making a movie for Morbius,
Yeah.
and it's like now you're making a movie for Clayface. Like that's so random.
Which I think is really interesting because again, just for Clayface, is going to be directed by Mike Flanagan, who is generally a horror movie director. Like he did the Ouija movies, he did Doctor Sleep, which is like the Shining sequel, right? He directed those movies,
Hmm.
and now he's doing, I guess, what looks like is going to be his first superhero movie. Side note: Matt Reeves is apparently co-producing this movie, which he did the Batman,
Oh,
so that'll be interesting. You know for a fact
okay.
he is
So
going to
that's
tie that. Which I want to say one more thing.
yeah.
So the only other confirmed movies that are coming out, which don't have dates, will be Authority, Swamp Thing, and Brave and the Bold. Which Brave and the Bold is going to be then probably the first DCU Batman movie, which doesn't look like Matt Reeves is tied to that, but you know for a fact if he's doing Clayface, he's going to tie it into the Batman too, which I assume is
Yeah.
what you want to talk about. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say like for that direction, horror definitely does kind of fit Clayface
Yes.
as a villain. Um, Usually in the games or in
Mm-hmm.
the movies and all the shows that he's shown. He's typically, someone that is, Clayface. He could uh, imitate
Sure.
people. He can turn into a big monster.
Yep.
He could do all these kind of things. So whichever direction he goes in for this movie, he could do murder mystery. He could do
Mm-hmm.
horror mystery, something like that, which would be cool. And he could implement something with
Mm-hmm.
the Batman, of course.
Yep.
He'll have something like you gotta have. This might be just an origin story for
Yep.
Clayface, probably,
Which
which I guess is fine. But I thought we were just like like I feel like people don't really know. I guess the origins for
yep.
Clayface generally, so it'd probably be fine.
So
But
I actually do have the DC did I guess post a what the movie's going to be about. This is the one sentence line is a body horror Hollywood story about a B movie actor who uses a substance to remain relevant, but then becomes made entirely of clay.
okay. I
So
mean, yeah, that's really who Clayface is. Like
yeah,
he was an actor originally. Some
hmm
of the scenes in his movies or games he puts on an act. That's what
yes,
his villain is, right?
yeah,
Like in if you play the Arkham
yes,
series
yep,
like
I
that,
have, yep,
he plays Joker.
yep,
That's his act. He's
hmm
been putting up an act the entire time in all the games, right? And then in I think it was one of the other Batman games. I think it was not Arkham Knight. It was Batman Gotham Knights. It
hmm
was the Gotham Knights game. Clayface was a villain in that.
okay,
He had a whole scene where he was portraying as Batman,
yeah,
and he was like in clay form, and he was as playing as himself as Clayface, and he was
Yeah.
trying to like act out a scene like in
Yeah.
a theater or something like that, which is definitely something that fits the Clayface villain role that he has, and that's an interesting description.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it is like somewhat of an origin story of how he becomes Clayface. But I wonder if they'll connect it with like the Batman or
Yeah.
something. Have some Batman cameo probably.
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, that's interesting. All right, so yeah, I wanted to also bring up the connection, maybe if there is any,
Hmm.
for the Batman and Superman. Um, this is like the dynamic duo, one of the
Yep.
duos everybody talks about, Batman and
Yep.
Superman. We got dark, light, right? And I really wanted something to be done with them two. Like I really want some movie kind of like that in live action, where it's just them two
Sure.
and they're trying to do something. We've seen a lot of DC animated stuff for that already. But one of the things was that in the Batman, I don't know if it was. I don't think it was the director, but it was like some comic or something that tied into the universe and into the um, DCEU, or not EU, just Matt Reeves' universe, right? Superman is something that's a thing in the
Yep.
Batman,
Yep.
right? So it's like people talk about how, or I don't think it's mentioned in the movies or anything, but it's mentioned in some of the comics that ties to the movies, right?
Mm.
Where there's a flying man in the
Yeah.
sky in Metropolis and stuff like this, right? And I really thought that they would connect it into this movie because I was like,
Sure.
oh, let's do something with that, right? And I was really hoping that it would be something. And I just wanted to bring that up because I'm like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, what do you think they should do for it, and if it should be connected at all?
Yeah, I think I see. I'm tied because a part of me did want to have Batman in this movie because it's like just give me something to eat. I need something,
Yeah,
right?
something.
But then at the same time, I also understand just like allowing this just to be a pure Superman movie where it's just like, hey, let us just introduce this character first, and then we'll do like our things later. But I would not have minded. We mentioned earlier about the Batman theme playing in the background of the Superman thing, which I don't know where they did that in the movie, or if that's
Oh,
just
oh, yeah, I know exactly where.
okay. Where?
So remember the scene with the Bavarian president,
Yes. Yeah.
and he did his little speech.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went into the teleporter to talk with Lex. That was the whole
Oh.
transition theme. Like that was
Oh.
what it was
Okay.
leading into. Like that was the playing in the background. That's what people are like mad upset with. They're like, why did
Interesting.
they waste this scene on this bald guy? I was like, wow.
That's interesting. So because that kind of makes me think then, because the whole thing of the transition of him going to the other world, right? It's a pocket universe. So I kind of wonder, and because they've confirmed this, right? That the Matt Reeves Batman is not DCU canon now, right? According
Yeah.
to, but I kind of wonder whether they'll do some sort of little twist where I doubt DCU goes into multiverse like this quickly, but I kind of
Mhm.
wonder whether they'll have a quick Robert Pattinson thing just to kind of like show like, hey, it's not technically canon, but in some other universe that we won't ever touch again, this Batman does exist. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting because it is hinting. I did not notice that it's the scene where they go to a pocket dimension is where they do the Batman theme. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's also somebody said it was like also kind of like Lex's theme.
Mm,
We didn't really get into Lex. We
that's
didn't really
true.
talk about him that much in this. We were just talking about Superman. But Lex Luthor in this was really
Yes.
good. What's the actor? Nicholas
Nicholas
Holt?
Holt. Okay, yeah. Wait, we
Yeah.
gotta go back. We gotta talk about we got him because
We got to
he.
talk about Luther because he was really good. I
Mhm.
feel like this is a good representation of Luther that like how like in the other ones we see like they give him the origin like stuff again,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
we see the origin of how he becomes bald and all this stuff like we don't nobody cares about that stuff. Like this is like prime Luther
Mhm.
generally. Like he's just a hater, a
Yeah.
Superman hater in this movie, straight up.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
have.
crazy.
There's a couple things that I want to know because it's like I agree with you. He's just a Superman hater, and I know this sounds weird, but it's so refreshing to get a villain that's just bad. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
evil. We went through a phase of like superhero movies where it was like, oh, the villain's bad, but like you can kind of understand where he's coming from because he was hurt as a child. I'm like, no, Nicholas Hoult is just a hater and he wants to kill Superman. And he does not care how many other
That's
people
generally
die.
how Lex is.
Yeah,
He's a rich, powerful, smartass that just hates Superman because of
exactly.
who he is. Like he just thinks Superman's like there's no way this guy's this powerful and he doesn't have evil
Hmm.
intentions, right? I'm trying to help everybody out here and that, like, and that you really see that in the Superman movie because he's like, he just hates him. He's like breaking into his home,
Yeah.
breaking all his shit, taking over taking his DNA, all that stuff,
Hmm.
which is crazy. And I was like, wow, they really emphasized what Luthor is, how he's a
Yes.
rival to Superman, like why he's such a villain
Yeah.
for Superman,
And
and why everybody knows about him.
I loved him. So obviously for the Superman clone, I loved the fact that he was giving like the directions, like L4 and then like 826. Like
Yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
because he's studied Superman so much, right? He hates this
Oh,
man to his core. That he studies this man's moves and exactly how he's going to counter. Right? It's
I was kind of annoyed, how did Superman not notice this, like in the first part?
that's true.
Like he would
Yeah.
definitely notice that these cameras that are around,
Yeah.
like, are like definitely helping the villain or whatever,
Hmm.
right? It's like, come on, like he's getting directions on what to do.
Hmm.
Um, but it's also like I feel like the other scene too with the gun in the Pocket
Yeah.
universe
Yeah.
with Malik, rest in
Yes.
peace, my boy,
Rest in
my
peace.
Muslim brother.
Yeah.
He got to be Muslim, Brad. But he was it was really
Yeah.
dark, like
Yeah.
just randomly Russian roulette.
Mhm.
That's crazy. I don't think Lex would kind of do that. I don't know if that's something he would do.
I don't know, but
I, I
I love that because it's like it zooms out, so you don't like get the really gruesomeness of it, but the shot like echoes, and you just see the body crumple, and you're like, oh, like that happened, and it's like I feel like that's the
I was
nail
like,
in
no
the
way they
coffin.
do this. I really
Yeah.
thought the first shot when it didn't go off, I'm like, okay, maybe they won't do it, right?
Hmm.
And then boom, second one just kills him. I was like, they're killing people.
Yeah.
No way, dude. This is real. I was like, whoa.
I think that's what
That was definitely a shock.
like brings them over because I guess this is my impression, right? Is that when we see the city being split in half, we know people are dying, right? We know people are dying, but it's like it's on such a massive scale, it doesn't feel personal. Versus Malik, this guy who we've basically seen in 2 to 3 scenes, like he's grabbing, like he's helping lift Superman out of like this hole, right? Like he's like a dude that we kind of get to know a little bit, and he just gets shot on the second round of Russian roulette. Like it's such a like shock, that
Yeah,
yeah. So
it's crazy.
yeah, and I want to go to Nicholas Hoult for a second too, because he's an actor who I've enjoyed for a long time, and I was really interested to see what like how well he do, and I think he did a phenomenal job. Zane, I don't know how many of these movies you've seen, but like he was in Mad Max Fury Road. He was fantastic in that movie. The Menu. He's in Deadpool 2 as Beast, which I completely forgot about actually.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't even remember that.
like he's in so many movies that are like he does a phenomenal job, and I think
Oh, he was in X-Men First Class.
yeah. He's Hank or Beast. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
okay. He
so
plays like these characters that you can't like really tell who he is. Cause like
exactly.
I've seen all these trailers and promotions. I was like,
Hmm.
who does this guy play? Cause he has hair in the
Yeah.
in the in the promotion and all this, right? And I'm like, and I see him and I'm like, oh, he's Lex.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, he looks weird bald.
Because
He doesn't look like
he
himself.
said in a interview he actually let his kid shave his head for him. Like he said like, oh, I let my kid have the clippers and just said, there you go, like it's all gonna come off. So, which again, dedication to the role for actually shaving your head, right? So, because I feel like a lot of actors would be like, can I put on a bald cap? And like, it's like, but yeah,
Yeah, you could like, who was the other Luthor?
the old one. I was gonna say something about that
The
too. So the old Superman actor.
Jesse
Um,
Eisenberg in Justice League.
oh, in that one, yeah, like that one, he definitely wore a bald cap, right? In that one, probably.
Yeah, you could tell that he looked like he was wearing a bald cap.
Well, I would
Like he
say
didn't look that bald.
even in the old Superman, so the original Christopher Reeve one, Gene Hackman, who's a very famous actor, but he's actually has hair in that movie, and at the end, like I think Superman either like punches him or something, but then like the wig flies off, and he reveals, oh, he's been bald this whole time, and that's the the all the fans are like, I know that, they're pointing at the screen. But yeah, I enjoyed him just being bald for the entire movie. I know it sounds weird,
Yeah.
but it's like, yeah, I feel like
Yeah, because it's like it's weird to just bring up like this character that's kind of well known, like it's Superman's rival,
Mhm.
and you're showing him become bald.
Yeah,
Like, who cares, bro? Like, just get into who he is, like why he is who he is, right?
exactly.
And they showed that really well in this movie, which is
Mhm.
nice. They really made you hate this guy. Like, I
Yeah,
really hated him.
yeah,
I was like, yo, finally! Like when he got punched at that
yeah.
part, that was hilarious.
When the dog started like dragging him and throwing
Oh
him
yeah, yeah,
around.
yeah. Crypto started going crazy on him. I was like, oh shit! Did he break his arm from that? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what? That's what you get for torturing a dog, buddy. Like, what do you
Mhm.
expect to happen?
But no, I enjoyed it because I feel like, because again, like Lex Luthor to Superman is like what Doc Ock, or like, or Goblin is the Spider Man. It's
Yeah, pretty
the
much.
I'm trying to think what else is the
Batman to Joker. That's
Batman to
basically
Joker,
Luthor and
exactly.
Superman. Like,
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I agree. I thank you for reminding me about Nicholas Holt as
yeah,
Luthor,
I
because
wanted to bring him up because
yeah,
I was like, yo, he was really good. Like, this is definitely something we should talk about.
yeah, absolutely. I guess to wrap it up, then, I thought about we should do a top 5 DC movie, and it can be. I know we talked. Do you want to do animated? I would rather do animated and live action mix, just because I have not seen as many of the animated side to give you a top 5. But would you want to
Of
do
course.
a top 5? You think?
Are we doing DCEU for like the live action movies or just any DC
Sure,
movie?
let's just do any DC, because I feel like it's gonna be a mix of
I feel like
everything.
with any DC movie, you could just say like the Nolan trilogy for the Batman
Hmm.
as your top three, and like you could do the Batman and the Superman. Like
Yeah,
that would be my definitive top five for DC movies in general, like live action wise. Um, and probably just in animated wise as well, because
yeah,
those five movies are really good for those characters, and those are probably my two favorite characters in DC. Batman
yeah.
and Superman. Um, but if we're talking about like DCEU, there's like it's so hard to like.
Hmm.
There were so many movies, like so many random movies. We got the Zack Snyder cut for the
Hmm.
Justice League. We got Man of Steel. And then did we have a Ben Affleck just solo Batman movie? I feel like we
We
didn't, right?
we never got a Ben Affleck movie, which I think is a crime, because I actually do
Yeah,
like Ben Affleck as
I
Batman.
really liked it too. I like the Batman
Yeah.
versus Superman.
Hmm.
That one scene is always stuck in my head with
Yeah.
him fighting those goons.
Yep.
Him being like that aggressive and stuff,
Hmm.
like that's definitely something you see with Batman. Like that's something we should have gotten as a solo Batman movie.
Yep. Exactly.
And yeah, I feel like that was really cool. And then the rest of the random DC movies, like the one-offs and all
Hmm.
that, like they're all kind of mid,
Yep.
honestly. Um,
I think I agree with you
but
though. I think if I had to give my top 5, it would be the Nolan trilogy as well, the Batman, and then now Superman. I think
yeah,
I think we could agree. I think the only DCEU movies that you could possibly throw in for like a live action would maybe be, see, I'm again, I keep talking about the Suicide Squad. I do like the Suicide Squad. I don't
yeah, that
know.
was
I
good.
don't think it's top 5. I think you could make an argument. I think if you're like a Cavill stan, I would not argue with you if you wanted to put Man of Steel in the top 5, but I just wouldn't agree with it personally. I think it's very good
Yeah.
still. I guess we'll finish this way. I've only seen a couple of the animated movies. What's your definitive? Do you have a definitive Superman animated movie that like we could recommend to people to watch?
Oh, definitely. There's let me look it up. I forget the name, but it's definitely a good. Um, there's a few
Mm-hmm.
Superman animated movies that you could watch. Um, you could watch. I feel like All Star Superman's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably like The Death of Superman. That's a good
Yep.
movie
Yep.
too. But if we're trying to find something that's like you're trying to hear something that's generally like Superman, um, there was one. I forget what it was called. Don't think it's Apocalypse. Oh, Superman versus the Elite. That's a
Okay.
pretty good one.
I actually have seen that one. That one
Yeah,
was.
Superman versus the Elite is pretty good because of like the general theme in
Mhm.
that movie, and then the Superman, like you see like who he is,
Yep.
like like that whole speech he has is pretty cool in that movie, and it definitely be a good intro for Superman.
I really like
And then
Superman Doomsday. I've looked here. I have that rated pretty decently too. I don't
yeah,
remember what your opinion is on that one.
Superman Doomsday. Let me see what this one looks like. I can just tell by the animation. That's how I remember most of these movies
I think this was
is
like one of
by
the first ones ever.
Superman Doomsday. Oh,
From the
this is
sun.
like this is kind of like original animated
Hmm.
series.
Hmm.
So this is definitely this is definitely good.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, it's this Doomsday. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember this. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is definitely good. This is it's a good Superman movie, definitely out there for animated.
All right.
I feel like all these new ones are good too. But
Yeah.
what's your like? You said the same thing for the top five.
I yeah, I would say the same thing for the top five. I think most people would probably agree. Then if I had to give, I'll say this: if I had to give an animated movie, I'll say Superman versus Doomsday, and then your one is All Star Superman, or you said
No, Superman versus Elite's
Superman
pretty
versus the
good.
Elites. All right, so that would be all right. Because I'm looking here at my list of like animated movies I need to get to. I need to get to All Star Superman, Superman Red Sun. Is that pretty good? Um,
Yeah, that one's I think it's kind of newer, or people started talking about that a little bit more.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. There's like the Death of Superman, the
There's
Reign of the Superman.
the DC animated universe
Yeah,
versus the live
yeah,
action universe is like a crazy difference. Like you could go on for so long on
sure.
the animated movies. Like there's so many good ones for the Batman, the
Mhm.
Superman movies. I don't know how many there are for the other hero universe, but there's a lot of Batman and Superman.
Yeah,
And nothing really. I think there's a lot of Justice League stuff too,
there's
but that's a little
yeah,
bit darker. Like, we could go on about that forever.
yeah.
That's like no comparison.
But yeah, I guess any closing thoughts and stuff before we wrap up here.
Um, I don't know. Superman 2. What could they do?
I don't know, man. I don't even want to start talking about that yet because it's like I don't even know what the rest of the DCU. It's like if we watched Iron Man 1 and then but we didn't know what the MCU is going to be like, right? It's
It's
like
got to be so like complicated now. Like back
yeah.
then, it was just like, oh, they had Iron Man, then it'd be Iron Man 2, then
Mhm.
Iron Man 3. Now it's like you gotta watch Superman, then you gotta watch the Green Lantern series, then you
Mhm.
gotta watch this series,
You're
then
going to
you
watch
gotta watch this,
Peacemaker
then
season 2 now cuz that's
then
canon.
it goes into Supergirl, and
Yep.
then it goes into this. Like, come on, man, it's a little complicated for no reason.
Yep. So, but I don't know. I'm excited about the future of the DCU, man.
Yeah, I am as well. I feel like it's in good hands now.
Mhm.
We got James Gunn running a little bit, and then we got Matt Reeves for the Batman side.
Yep.
Um, I feel like they're gonna do their. I feel like both of them, like James Gunn's probably gonna do more Superman stories, maybe,
Sure.
or more stories for other characters. And it's just general stories. It's
Yeah.
not like something that's gonna get connected. Same with Matt Reeves as the Batman. He'll probably do more like how he had in the Batman, like a Riddler. Like they
Mhm.
had all that mystery stuff. Now in this story, the second one, they might do more Batman,
Sure.
like something else. Like Hush, or he's more well
Yeah.
known now. Something.
I want to I'm just going to quickly say this. I want to see Calendar Man. I
Oh
want to
yeah,
see
for sure.
Calendar Man
Calendar Man.
in Matt Reeves Batman. That would be so cool.
That
But
would be cool. Calendar Man is definitely underrated. If you know,
exactly.
you know.
Yep, exactly. So, all right, man. Well, I appreciate you hopping on here. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you guys like
Yeah,
this, I will also tag Zane's socials down below. So make sure you go follow
yeah,
him as well. And hopefully this becomes a regular thing. I'm gonna ask Zane to come back on for future episodes for sure. So
yeah. Sounds good. I
yeah.
kind of want to talk about maybe the Fantastic movie that's coming out
Oh, that's
this
true.
month.
In
So
like what 2 weeks, right? We got Fantastic
yeah,
Four.
I think so. Like near the end of the month.
All right, bet we're gonna do a
All
podcast
right.
on that for sure.
Yeah,
So,
we'll do that for sure.
all right, buddy. See ya.
All right. See ya.